Welcome to Inside the Studio, retrospected
Oh my gosh, he got it right.
after hours. And today's episode, we're going to talk about this movie that kind of came out recently. You all might know about it. It's called Batman: The Killing Joke. So we're going to talk about it. You're going to hear our thoughts, and we're going to make some magic. Thank you for joining us. Welcome again. I'm the General, Dave Beatty. And so we're talking about Batman: The Killing Joke that just came out.
The animated one.
Which a live action one will be really cool. So some of you, for those of what? Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Keep going.
Right. So we're gonna talk about the story. The story itself for me, I liked it for the most part. There's an opening part that they tied in that I don't think they really needed. It kind of drags it out till you get to the, like we're here, like it's like Ang Lee's Hulk. I want to see the Hulk. I don't need all this stuff before it. Just give me what I want when I came here to see. As far as, because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Just talk about it in generalities.
In generalities, the story is great up until this part that takes about 20 minutes or whatever before you even get to it. I don't like that part, but the actual story, it was good.
So you're saying the Batgirl sequence on the front end?
No need whatsoever. I wanted to fast forward it, but I heard I had to watch it for certain things. But not necessary. Like, I don't know why. It just not necessary. Did you like it? Like, what on the story wise?
Story wise, I thought it was fine. It's in all honesty not anywhere near as good as, in my humble opinion, as some of the other productions they've done where they've adapted, The Dark Knight Returns.
That was beautiful.
That was amazing.
Batman Year One.
Year One was fantastic. Under the Red Hood was great.
Yep.
Like, so many of the DC animated films are so wonderful. And this is the first one that just, for me personally, it felt kind of flat. I like the idea of there being like the Batgirl's last case, like that kind of story on the front end. There was a comic book, a Batgirl special that actually came out before The Killing Joke.
Was it part of whatever they showed in the movie? No, right?
No. I'm talking about when the original Killing Joke comic book came out.
Yeah. I
was like a little kid. Well, not a little kid. I don't remember how old I was, but I was around when it first came out. There was a Batgirl special that came out before, and I remember I specifically ordered the Batgirl special because they advertised it as Batgirl's last story before The Killing Joke.
Okay.
So if you read the comics in the day, if you were reading Batman comics, you would have read a last Batgirl case story before The Killing Joke.
Okay.
That being said, I don't remember a lot of the stuff that happened in this happening in that particular book.
Right.
And I don't remember the villain being that particular villain either. I could be confused. I pulled that book out to read it, but I haven't reread it yet. But I like the idea of a Batgirl story before The Killing Joke because it makes sense, like in terms of how I read the comics back in the day. But that being said, some of the story decisions that they made fell kind of flat for me.
I just think you didn't need it. It's kind of like when you go watch a movie about Superman or Spider-Man and they just beat that origin to death over your head. Like, if people watching the movie know the story and are going there to see it, happen before their eyes, so all the exposition beforehand, I just thought was not necessary.
Okay, well, we know how you feel about the story side of it. I mean, what do you think about the production values?
Flat. It wasn't that interesting. It was cool to have, No, you know what? I just didn't like. I didn't like it. Sorry, I didn't like it. Batman Year One was just Batman Year One looked like it was the comic.
Yeah.
I think there was that fan film where that guy who edited the trailer where it looked more like the comic book. I would have liked to have watched that. That would have been more entertaining. I just didn't. it just played out like a really just like a standard DC Comics episode, whatever. You know, like you'd catch on like Saturday, whatever afternoon. I was angry when I watched this movie. I was like, really? This is all hyped up for this? No. No, I didn't like. It just looked standard. It's cool animation, great, fine. But I just thought you could do more, man. Like you're being handed the holy grail of books to make into an animated movie. DC animated, you're pretty good on all your stuff. Marvel hasn't stepped up their game on that part of it. So own this and take it all the way. I didn't think it was good. You?
For me, in terms of production value, I actually enjoyed a lot of the animation in the film.
Okay.
There was a few things kind of here and there that were kind of unusual, but in terms of the style, like I actually enjoyed being able to see like a Brian Bolland kind of style Batman, like a Batman from drawn kind of the way that I loved it back in the comics in an animated film. In terms of production values, I think that if I was going to nitpick, because I did enjoy the production values on the film, if I was going to nitpick, the only thing I think I might gripe about is where in the hell did they get that Batmobile from? Because that was the other thing that I didn't quite understand, because in The Killing Joke, he had like the old school
the
Batman face on the front of it,
Yeah.
the old school Batmobile. And I remember when I read that story back in the day, I thought it was kind of neat that he was still like...
I mean, there's a panel where they in the comic.
Oh yeah,
where
it's a big deal. Yeah,
the movie.
And that was the thing. That was the thing that kind of threw me off. And then at one point, did they destroy the Batmobile?
Yeah, well, and they did in the Batgirl part with.
But he rolled up in the same version in the. Now I'm confused because they didn't show the classic Batmobile, did they?
No, I don't think so.
I've only seen this once.
I saw it once, and you know what? I'm good. I don't want to watch it again. That's, that's saying a lot. Cause I'll watch Under the Red Hood all day. I'll watch Batman till the
Under the Red Hood's probably my favorite still.
Yeah. I like Batman Year One because you've got Ben McKenzie doing the voice.
Well, let's not talk too much about Year One because we should actually do a review for Year One. But
anyway.
But I mean, no. In terms of production value, I thought the film was fine. I thought it was neat how they recreate a lot of the classic moments when you actually get to the Killing Joke part of it,
which is fine.
But then there was a few things I didn't care for, but a lot of my problems keep going back to story. It was sort of story choices and story decisions. So
I think because it started off with that whole Batgirl part that I just stopped caring. Like it really it didn't hook me. I'm like, I don't.
But see, years ago they were rumored they were going to do a Batgirl Year One.
So that
based off that mini-series, that really great mini-series that Marcos Martin, or I think it was Marcos Martin, did the art for. That would have been amazing.
To do a Batgirl Year One.
Yeah, just like they did with the Wonder Woman animated film, to do a Batgirl film. Because I think had there been that Batgirl Year One film had come out the way they had intended at one point, I think it would have answered a lot of questions. So when they got to Killing Joke, they could have, because it seemed like the complaint was that Killing Joke was too short to adapt into an animated film, and I'm not sure about that.
You could have. I mean, the movie. No, you could have. Well, it did seem kind of short because you spent half the time on that. It's like they added the Batgirl part to just let's just like when they tell you hey, just stretch it out.
Right.
I mean, you could have. I think you could have done it without that. Again, I didn't like that part of it. It bugged me. However, the cast part of it, it's Mark Hamill Joker, which I liked, but I didn't like. I think the way the animation was just throwing me off. I would rather have watched a Killing Joke done in the Bruce Timm style. I mean, you've got they had Kevin Conroy, which is cool. But it didn't sound like him. Like you look at the Batman going, oh, it's Kevin Conroy's voice, but I'm like, what'd you think?
Well, in terms of the cast did a great job. I don't have any complaints really with the cast at all. I mean, me personally, the fact that so many of the original animated series cast came back to kind of reprise their roles was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The only thing about the cast and it wasn't anything that bothered me. It was just something that took me out of the story. Was the musical number? I mean, it almost sounds like I'm making it up, like that's a joke. But the musical number.
When you told me, I was like, oh, and I was like,
I
again,
really.
that's why it's story choice.
Yeah, story choice, and that's where my problems keep coming back to. The cast is fantastic. I don't have really any issues with the cast at all. I mean, for me, the production values I think were solid, and I think the cast did an absolutely fantastic job. I mean, the musical number that Mark Hamill had to perform he did a good job with it.
It just wasn't.
To me, it just didn't fit that moment, because the point in which that happens in the story is, when I read it, was very shocking and very somber, and it played out complete. It felt Looney Tunes in the middle, and I guess I kind of get that, haha. But I mean, it just, for me, it played kind of weird.
It stops the movie.
Yeah.
Like how, again, sorry to harp on it, that Batgirl story just stops. Like, it doesn't hook you. Like, 5 minutes into him going, why? I didn't like it. And then the musical number, it stops you again. You're like, huh? Like, come on, it's the Killing Joke. Like, just, like, it's visceral. It's a great story to read. I remember reading it and going, I don't know what I'm reading. I don't think I should be reading this because I'm still in, like, 3rd grade, but I'm going to read it anyway. And then just I'm like, I can finally go see it live, as a cartoon. I'm good. I thank you for letting me watch it. But I just think DC...
and we did purchase it legally.
Yeah. You did.
On Blu-ray, DVD, and digital.
Yeah, so I think...
Any way you want your poison.
Yeah, right. I'm not a fan of it. I think later on I'm probably going to put in Batman Year One and enjoy it. But Killing Joke, come on, DC, step up your game. I don't know. If I had to give it a grade, like in college, I would probably ask the TA to please give it a B-. So that's just me.
I don't know if I would really rate it in terms of like a grade, or a thumbs up, or a thumbs down, or a sideways, or whatever. But I guess if you've seen all the other Batman animated films and you're curious about this one, it's probably worth a rent.
There you go.
Because for me anyway, the production values are really good, and I really enjoyed the cast. It's just some of the story choices that they made. The more I sit with the film and think about it, the more some of the story choices kind of bother me. Yeah. And it's not the obvious stuff that everybody was complaining about on the internet. My story choices just kind of hinge from the fact that's like, well, I mean, was this the best Batgirl story to put on the front end? Like, and that's kind of the thing, because there's just some stuff in that part of it. And
maybe,
I'm like
maybe if that was good, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, because it's even like
just like a bad, corny one-off episode.
Yeah. So.
But hey, that's just our opinion. What do we know? We're just guys in a room talking about comic stuff. But thanks for tuning in. So we'll catch you later. All right. Bye.
I still don't have a sign off. See you later.
See you later. All right. Bye. Slate.